Hi everyone, I'm Elliot and I'm here with my mom today. I'm Chris's youngest and cutest, and we're here with a fun project for you. We're making a kid's craft. Well, we're actually making my Valentines for this year. I like sparkly and shiny things just like my mom. So we're going to use some DecoFoil to really make these cards shine.
I started out by creating a digital file using Photoshop Elements, and we printed this digital file out on the laser printer. It's really important that you use a laser printer for this because the toner is going to react with the foil and cause the foil to stick. We've printed 4 of these out on one sheet, and we found this digital file, the hand-painted heart with the U in the center, at an Etsy shop. And we just used a couple of free font downloads along with a free heart download to add the rest of the sentiments along the bottom. And I'll make sure that I link all of those things in the description at YouTube as well as over at my blog.
My mom is going to help me cut the first one. She has marked her trimmer to make every card measurement easy to find. I just had to make sure I kept the paper pushed all the way to the top to make sure I had a straight cut. Once I got the hang of it, I was able to do this step on my own. Now I'm going to do this one on my own. I don't need to make the vertical cut because we'll be die cutting these later on. I just need to make sure that the paper will fit on the die cut machine. Once again, I'm lining my paper up with a 5.5-inch mark. I'm making sure the paper is pushed all the way to the top, and then I'm making my cut. To finish cutting my Valentines, I'll be using a stitched rectangle die from Lawn Fawn. The stitch detail adds a nice finishing touch. I'm using the largest die from the small stitched rectangle set. I'm positioning the die over the printed Valentine. Mom's making sure I have the die lined up. There should be an equal amount of space around the 3 edges, and the bottom edge of the die should be parallel with my name. Once I got it all lined up, Mom put a piece of micropore tape over the die to hold it in place while I ran it through the Big Shot. She had to hold the machine for me. I'd use all my muscles to crank that through. When we weren't filming, I used the Vagabond to cut the remainder of my Valentines. This was a little easier for me to use, but if your children are really small, be sure they have supervision. We don't want any little fingers getting squished. When I remove the die, you can see that I have a nice stitch detail around the edge of my Valentine. Now it's time for the fun part. We're going to make this card shine. I'll be using the melon DecoFoil for the 2 hearts. I'll be using some rose gold DecoFoil for my name and the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment. To be sure we didn't waste a whole lot of foil, we did a little measuring. Then we used the trimmer to cut down the pieces of foil. We cut 2 layers at a time. It was a bit tricky because they're kind of slippery, but Mom was there to help me out. We cut several large pieces of the melon foil with the trimmer. For the smaller pieces, it was easier just to eyeball it and use the scissors. We also cut down the rose gold DecoFoil, some with the trimmer and some with the scissors. If you want, you can do all your trimming with scissors. Just make sure you have pieces large enough to cover the printed areas completely. I will be using the Heidi Swap Mink Mini Machine to apply the foil. You can also use the laminator for this step. My mom prefers the Mink because there are multiple heat settings. We turned it on with the switch on the back and used the 5 heat setting. The Mink manual recommends a 3 or a 4 setting for this type of cardstock, but you can experiment and see what works best for you. I'm going to lay the foil over my images. I'll cover the large heart with some melon foil. I'll cover the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment with a strip of the rose gold. The small heart is covered with melon foil as well, and my name is nice and shiny and some more rose gold. If you want to make this easier for little hands, you can use all one color of foil. Once the foil is positioned, I close the carrier sheet and put it through the Mink machine. The machine gets hot, so be sure that you don't burn yourself. It doesn't take long for the project to go through the Mink. It will suck it through and spit it out the backside. Once it's gone through the machine, it's time for the magic. I let it cool for just a bit. You can wave the carrier sheet in the air to help it cool. Then remove the foil. It's super shiny. It's hard to really get a feel for this in a picture, but you can see here just how shiny it is. I love it! Let's just take a moment to enjoy that shine. It's a Valentine fit for a sassy preteen like myself. Now I have all my projects foiled, but just like my mom, this wasn't shiny enough for me. I felt the need to add just a few more embellishments to this card. I started out by raiding my mom's sequin stash. We all know she can't make a card without those sparkling clear sequins. I guess I'll just follow in her footsteps. And then I grabbed one of her other favorites, gold glitter cardstock. I'm going to punch some hearts from this to add to my card. Mom helped me arrange all these elements on the front of the card. I adhere the hearts with some foam adhesive. I had to cut down a really tiny piece for the back of the smaller heart. I adhered a few of the sequins on the card front using some multi-medium from Ranger. Here's a look at the card with all the embellishments added. I love the way it sparkles. You can give this card as is, just slip it in an elevator. I keep saying elevator. Envelope or add it to a tree. For a few of my special friends, I wanted to be able to add a handwritten note and a small picture inside, so I decided to add this card front to a folded card base. I tried several colors out. My mom chose some that she thought would work well. We tried some craft cardstock, a couple of different gray tones, and also some pale rose cardstock. In the end, I decided I liked the pale rose the best. I cut the cardstock down to 4¼ inches by 11 inches. Then I scored the cardstock using a scoreboard and a bone folder. It's always a good idea to give your fold a nice burnishing with your bone folder. That way you'll have a nice tight crease. I decided this card wouldn't be complete without a little foam adhesive behind the card front. I added several pieces of foam adhesive around the edge, and I made sure I put one in the center as well. We don't want the center of the card to sag. Saggage is never a good thing. Just ask my mom. Once I removed the backer from the foam adhesive, I attached the card front to the card base. So there you have it, a fun Valentine, one you can make with your kids. We really hope you enjoyed this card project.
Thanks for stopping by today, Elliot. Isn't she the cutest? I really hope that today's project has inspired you to get in the craft room with your kids and maybe make some handmade Valentines for this Valentine's Day. As always, I will have links to all the products used in this project in the description at YouTube, as well as over at my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com, where you can see more still shots and find more information, as well as another project that I made using the leftovers from this foil project. Thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time,
We hope you have a fabulous day.